Thank you, Robert. We will enjoy it indeed. The finals right here. Agassi, the 5 seed, against Tim Henman, the number 2 seed. Let's head courtside now. Vince Van Patten is with Brad Gilbert. Vince.
Hey, Bear, how you doing? I'm here with Brad Gilbert. Brad, he plays a very tough opponent today, Tim Henman. He'll be mixing it up. What did you tell Andre before the match?
I think he needs to force him a lot. I think that Andre has the better ground strokes off both sides. I mean, Tim is obviously serving really well and he's going to try to get the net. And I think if Andre's stopping his first serve a little bit and moving him from the ground, I think Andre's got a really good chance today.
Now, you're a betting man, as am I. What would the line be for something like this? Would it be an even money shot? Would it be a 2-to-1 shot? What would it be, Brad? 3-to-1? Tell me.
I got to think that Andre is a 5-to-2 favorite on this surface. I mean, Tim's better on the grass, you know, and Andre, this is his best surface, and Andre's playing really well. But then again, that's why we go to the betting forum to make the bet.
Okay, so just for interest's sake, I guess I'll take Henman. I'll take your 5-to-2, and we'll bet what, 2.5 dinners against my 1 dinner, right, Brad?
All right, then, good bet.
Let's do that. Good luck. Back to Bear.
All right, Vinny. I hope I don't have to pay for half those dinners, Vince. That's a pretty good bet. 5-2. Man, those are big odds. All right, Henman right here, ready to go. A perfect afternoon here at UCLA, and this place is absolutely packed. Agassi on the right. A closer look at Andre Leaf.
Well, he has rehabilitated his championship form from years back. Certainly 97 was not the year he envisioned, but now in 98 he's once again reaching the pinnacle of his sport and again knocking on the door of the top 10. He's 13 in the world, looking to get back into the promised land of the top 10. Great record this year, 41-9. Remember, 10 consecutive matches. That's 21 consecutive sets. He has not lost a set, and that includes 1 match in Davis Cup against Belgium. So a tremendous record this year, and boy, he is only getting better. Can he keep it going today? His focus is great. He's going to need it here against Tim Henman.
His opponent today, a semifinalist this year against Pete Sampras at the All England Club at Wimbledon, Tim Henman.
Obviously a great build for a tennis player. He's gotten a little bit stronger. That's made a big difference in his serve. He's still very young, only 23 years old. I can't imagine where he's going to be in 3 or 4 years with this game. Ranked 12 in the world. Again, he could move up to 11, and a great record this year. He's made a chunk of change, but all the money in the world doesn't count for Tim Henman. He wants to win titles.
We are ready to go. Best of 3 for the championship. This place is packed. The atmosphere is electric out here today. People still filing in, but it is really crowded. Henman opens up with a winner into the backhand side. 15. There's Lars Graf of Sweden in the chair. Obviously an impartial umpire today. 15 love. Henman opening strong with that forehand. Andre with the sun at his back. Henman looking right up into the sun from that far side. With the forehand, 15 all.
Remember, this is the first time these two guys have played, so I think Agassi is going to take a game or two to find his rhythm on the Henman serve. Henman, of course, is going to have to get adjusted to match play against Agassi. They've practiced a lot together. Certainly Henman's first final in the U.S., so this is a great chance for American tennis fans to see one of the next great players of our generation.
Behind him, wrong foots him, short ball.
Again, good variety here from Henman. He didn't hit this serve flat, but again, good basic form, very simple. You can see how he gets the racket head up very quickly here. A good extension with the legs here.
Yeah, boy, he really bends those knees. A lot of power from the legs.
Looks a little bit like Stefan Edberg, one of the guys he modeled his game after, who he certainly practiced with a lot.
Down the center, 132 miles per hour.
You know, Barry, I think his serve is bigger than Edberg's ever was. Edberg tended to play more spin serves. Wow, look at that, 132 miles an hour. That's big.
Well, yesterday he finished the match with 2 aces. One 132, the other 133. This guy is starting to become a big server. And another one out wide. Andre has another look. There will be no overroll, and so Tim Henman starts off strong. 1-love Henman. First set. Andre Agassi steps up to serve his first game of this match as he looks up and checks that sun, which has definitely been a factor. Gimelstob in the semis had some problems with it as he served. I think Andre will handle it all right. He's seen the sun before up there. cross court from Agassi, kept it low.
15 up.
We know one thing, Leaf. We're going to see Henman up at net quite a bit today. I think he'll take some chances. He plays a bit like Rafter in that respect.
Well, Agassi has had a pretty smooth road this week. Has not lost a set. Beat Bob Bryan, the NCAA champion from Stanford, who has just turned pro. Jan Michael Gamble, Sandon Stolly, and the young Justin Gimelstob, and he beat them all pretty convincingly.
3 young Americans. Everybody doing a lot of talking about where are the next good young Americans. There were 3 of them right there. Bryan, the NCAA champion, has now turned pro. Gimelstob and Gamble, very talented players. Just long. A few whistles. Ooh, and Agassi.
Now, it's a good chance for Henman early. I mean, that was a great way to start the match with a good service game. Now he's played a close game on Agassi's serve. Boy, wouldn't it be great for him if he could get an early break on Agassi and really shake up Agassi.
Andrean, he's not going to have to hit another ball after that approach shot.
And that's why Agassi is so tough. He's not going to let Henman take this early game. And what set it up was that serve out wide. He really sets up the point so well early on. Again, look at how he stays down and just drives that ball. Tremendous power.
And a big follow-through, Leaf, on that two-hander. Game point for Agassi to get even at 1-all. That is too good. Agassi drills the forehand into the open court. We are at 1-game-all, first set. A look at Henman's road to this championship match.
And he's had a pretty smooth road as well, losing only 1 set to Byron Black. Beat the South African Grant Stafford, American Jeff Tarango, Byron Black from Zimbabwe. That was a great match. And of course, last evening's semifinal against Guillaume Raux. Raux, of course, taking out Wimbledon finalist Goran Ivanisevic in the opening round here in LA. Agassi putting some pressure on the Henman volley here. Henman is up to the task. Watch how he stretches, covers that one. Now watch, he leans cross court and then dives down the line. Again, when you're getting down to the slow ball, you just want to keep the racket head still and your head still.
Henman all over the short ball, but a big serve set it up 122 miles per hour.
Boy, and I think Henman is perhaps the best player in the world right now at the transition game from the backcourt to the forecourt. Certainly Rafter has to be right in there, but I think Henman right now may be playing the best of those 2 guys in terms of the volley.
Serve. They say a great champion like Agassi and a great competitor can raise the level of the opponent, and I think that's what's going to happen. So far, it already has. Henman raising the level of his play. No, that's wide. That's what can happen when you play Agassi. He's so tough from that backcourt. You have a tendency maybe to try and do a little too much. He cuts off that return. Brilliant return here.
And no one does it better. Andre Agassi inside the baseline. Look at this. On a first serve, no swing, just so firm in the hands. Watch how he firms this one.
Oh.
Unreal.
Everybody talks about hands in sports and in tennis in particular. There was a great example right there. He just moves those hands so quickly. Henman ready to serve, looks over. Tim is looking just around the service line to his right there. Something really bothered him. A double fault. A lot of cell phones around the grounds. I'm sure that's what it was. And so now Agassi with a chance. 3rd game, break point.
Well, in almost all of Agassi's matches, he has gotten out to an early lead. He really puts it on the other guy. Let's see if he can build right here.
That is too good. Great concentration from Henman. He was upset by that phone.
Well, Henman's best shot, I think, is his backhand side. And look at this backhand. He's got some open court down the line, and he really finds it. Look at that beautiful drive. He doesn't overhit it, but he hit it with depth and with good pace.
That was a fault, but that served 137 miles per hour. He is starting to crank it up. No, it's wide.
Well, Henman has to avoid that short ball in the court. If you hit the ball short to Agassi, guaranteed you're going to be on the run. He's got to keep the ball out of the middle of the court. So another chance now for Agassi to break serve.
First serve wide. Big opportunity here for Andre. Second serve. Misses the overhead. Wow, with the sun at his back, Henman blows the overhead. 2-1 Agassi, first set.
Agassi leads.
2-1 Agassi, first set. The umpire, Lars Graf, has just requested that all people in the stands with mobile cellular phones turn them off at this point. Get rid of those cell phones for a couple hours, folks. Enjoy the tennis. 2-1 Agassi with a break. With a brilliant backhand leap. That is pure power.
Well, he looks right out of a textbook back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, this is what hitting a backhand's all about. Preparation, great extension, throws the racket. That's a beautiful one-hander.
I'll tell you something, Don Budge would have liked that backhand, and he had the best of all times.
There are a lot of players who'd like to have that backhand.
No, it's long. Henman takes a chance, rolls the forehand volley.
Just to showcase the backhand. Look at the shoulder turn. He shows that backhand. And then watch the drive. And importantly, watch the follow-through. He really gets through the hit.
The follow-through is where he got the power lead. That was beautiful.
Nice little change of pace there. That little underspin up the line.
It's wide. Great get from Agassi. Deep with a one-hander. Henman had him stretched out there. I thought he had the point lead.
30-15.
Wait, and you just sense that Henman is probing a little bit. He's finding ways and openings, trying to create things. Agassi's so far up to the task.
He pressed him on that point. I'll tell you, Agassi was lucky to get that one-hander back. 30-15, Agassi. Just wide.
You know, Henman looks like he's walked out of Exeter College, you know, clean cut. But I tell you, a fire burns within this guy. He is one of the most competitive guys, and he will not settle for second place.
No, first miss hit off the forehand of Agassi.
I think people talk a lot about how, you know, prize money this and prize money that. I think Henman has gotten past that. You know, he's probably got enough money. What he's concerned about is establishing his game and his mark in the tennis world.
No, the slice catches the net, and so Agassi holds. 3-1 Agassi now. First set is best of 3. Let's go down to Vince, who's got a guess. Vince, take it.
Yes, I'm going where no tennis commentator has gone before. I'm sitting here with the legendary Bill Shatner. How you doing, Bill?
I wanna walk like Agassi. I just want to walk like he does. I don't care about the ground strokes.
I know. You're on my court every day. My brother coaches you. I see you practicing, and it looks like you're trying to walk like Andre.
Yeah, getting to the ball See, and you got to jump. You got to jump up in the air like Agassi. The ground strokes on the volley game is nothing.
Yeah.
If you have the walk, you can walk the talk.
Well, he's an amazing player. What do you think of the Englishman Henman, though? Contrasting style.
Yeah, tremendous serve and a tremendous return of serve. It's a real game, and the generalship involved is really interesting to watch.
So, Bill, will you be going to the U.S. Open? Maybe following Andre around?
If I'm not working, I'm at the U.S. Open. I love to play tennis. I love to watch tennis. It's a great game.
Will you be playing?
At the U.S. Open?
Yes.
I just missed the
cutoff?
The cutoff.
Thanks, Bill. Back to you, Barry.
I'll tell you what, Vince, between Billy Crystal and William Shatner, we got some wild card entries brewing for this year's U.S. Open. I hope the folks on that committee are watching this telecast. Hold a couple spots, folks. Shatner and Billy Crystal. It's great.
I liked his remarks about the generalcy. Really, it should be the captaincy.
That's right. All right, 30-15. Henman serving down a break. Agassi with that break up 3-1. This is best of 3 for the title. Neither of these two players has won this championship. Quite a host of great champions in the past. We'll tell you about a few of those guys. 129 down the center.
Geez, the last Englishman, Barry, I know was 1934, and that was Fred Perry. So this history surrounds this event. Tremendous history and a great tradition, and certainly Henman knocking on the door again.
The great Pancho Gonzalez won this event in 1969 and again in 1971. The two-hander floats wide, and so Henman holds 3-2. Agassi leading at the Mercedes-Benz Cup in L.A.
Agassi leads 3-2.
Live action here, 3-2 Agassi with a break. Henman continuing to hit winners. Short ball, he puts it away.
The short ball doesn't come along easily. You've got to hit the ball with depth, and that deep forehand created this short opportunity for him. So remember, it's not always pace that wins the point, but depth. And Barry, you know that as well as I. A ball that's very deep in the court can be more effective than pace.
Henman trying to keep that return deep, just overhits it, 15-all. Ray always checks those balls carefully. He likes to try and get the ball that he knows is going to go through that air quickly. No, overhits the forehand into the backhand side, and so 15-30, a chance for Henman here to get back into this set. Just caught the tape. I'll tell you, another half an inch and that ball would have been a winner.
Again, Agassi playing a lot of shots cross court. Henman, more of an attacking player, plays more shots down the line. See Henman having a few words to himself about that underspin return that got away from him.
Will go long, and so Agassi holds. It is 4-2 first set. A huge turnout today at this wonderful UCLA Tennis Center, site of the 1984 Olympic tennis event that was a test event that year. Stefan Edberg won it. The forehand from Henman just hits the tape. You sense that Henman's trying to do just a little too much with that ball leaf.
Well, again, this forehand, Agassi just guesses right. And he covers it, and he puts a little bit of pressure on Henman. There wasn't much room in the court. He had to cut it with some angle. He just caught the tape. But again, Henman's trying to find his game right now. He's struggling a little bit, making a few more unforced. So obviously he's trying to collect himself and get it together. We look at the unforced errors from Henman, and that really has been the key. Obviously, if he could serve better, you can see 56% on the first serve. If he can serve like Agassi is serving, he will stay in this match.
15-all. We know Henman played Sampras in the semifinals this year at Wimbledon, but I think this particular match may be almost as big an occasion in his career. As I say it, he double faults. Third double of the match for Henman, and a bad time for it. Henman seems like a very, very controlled guy. You never see him get too upset, not too emotional out on the court. I think he holds a lot of that emotion inside very well.
Well, he is a Brit after all, and
I was going to
with a
say,
stiff upper lip. But again, I think he's modeled his game so much on Stefan Edberg. You know, the way Edberg comported himself on a court, he was a great sportsman, yet a great competitor.
Just wide. Very close on that sideline. Andre does not look over, although he does now, but I think he accepted that call. Just wide. Center service. Linesman there makes the call, ducks, and then throws out the arm. Got to be quick on that center service. No. It's one of the worst forehands we've seen Henman hit all day. Just didn't get over it, and so now Agassi with a chance here to break and go up 5-2.
Lance. Second service.
That's wide. Henman with his best forehand.
And he was on the run there, too. Well, his game is so derivative, and that looked a little bit like Pete Sampras, the way he ran over there and hit that forehand cross court. Obviously, Sampras hits it even bigger, but Henman has so many good qualities in his game that you see in other players. Obviously, he's not a European brusher. You know, he doesn't brush the ball with lots of topspin. But again, a classic stylist in that Sampras Edberg style.
Pure power up the center. Clean ace, his fourth of the day at 131 miles per hour. And to me, that's the biggest improvement in him, and his ability to hit a huge serve like that. Very crucial point.
You know, I think he needs to hit those today. You know, you can't give Agassi too many swings at the ball, so it'd be nice if he could get, you know, 1 or 2 of those a game. Of course, that's asking a lot, but you got to do what you got to do.
Again down the center, 129. And so Henman gets out of trouble. Agassi serves, he's got the break. Henman starting to bomb the serve. A little on the hot, sticky side today. Here's how you take care of that. Wish they'd send one of those up here to the booth. And I mean the fan, not the other fan. All right. Agassi serving now with the break. 4-3. This is best of 3. Agassi with the sun now at his back. Right in the corner. Let's go down to Vince Van Patten, who's with John Lloyd.
Yes, I'm cooling off here a little bit. It's a little cooler in the shade. I'm here with a great tennis player, Mr. John Lloyd, who is the Davis Cup captain of England, who works with Tim Henman. How you doing, John?
Very well. What a great match today. Nice and hot, though.
Yeah, I know it. And these guys, it's an interesting matchup, wouldn't you think? Because Tim likes to come to the net. And what does he have to do to turn this kind of match around? What do you think?
Well, obviously his game plan is to get in the net. The problem is you come up against someone like Andre Agassi, whose ground strokes are so heavy, it's tough for him to get in. And when he does, he has to gamble. And Agassi's got such great passing shots. Bottom line is he's got to serve big and got to get a lot of first serves in to have a chance to win today.
You know, it seems like when we played, the game was different. No one had a backhand. Okay, they all, they sliced the backhand, and you could come in. Today, everybody hits so well off of both sides. It's changing.
Oh, well, and, as you say, the ground strokes, the passing shots. I mean, against Agassi, you've got to come in against such a good shot, such depth to have any chance, because the passing shots come so fast, right low, and you've got to volley so. But Henman does volley well, so he's got a shot today.
Well, thanks so much, John. Back to you, Barry.
All right, Vince. I'll tell you, if anybody knows, John Lloyd does. He is the coach of that British Davis Cup team with his brother, the captain, David. So he is really up on both Henman and Ruzetsky. Agassi changing the serve up well now. Right down the center, 14-15.
Well, John Lloyd is right on about Henman having the great volleys. You know, he's just making too many unforced errors at the wrong time. He's missing approach shots, or maybe just missing one shot in the rally.
Agassi with all kinds of time leave. It almost looked like he was going to go cross court, changed his mind.
And that is the toughest thing. You have to make sure in your mind you know what you're going to do. You can see saying, hey, I've got to do what I got to do here. Hit that ball down the line. No messing around.
It's long. And so Agassi holds 5-3. First set. Well, as we mentioned, Agassi was way down in those rankings earlier. Look at that, end of 97.
Well, he was back playing challengers, and look at the climb, obviously winning in San Jose, Scottsdale, and Washington this year. So again, creeping in on that top 10 where certainly he belongs. A guy with this many talents. Brad Gilbert, his coach,
with his
really
son.
helped put it together, the mental aspects of the game. That's Zach Gilbert, Brad's son. They were out hitting on this court before the match. Ooh, that's a bad error there. You know, Agassi, looking back on his career, he's been out in the game since '86 is when he turned pro, and he started off his career with Nick Bollettieri, and I think Nick Bollettieri was big in getting Agassi develop the technical side of his game, his ability to hit big off both sides. Brad Gilbert has been really essential in the development of Andre Agassi on the mental side, how to play matches, how to play strategically, how to use your serve.
Agassi now 3 points away from this first set. Love 15.
That's a great play from Henman. You know, they were just trading nice rally shots. All of a sudden, he amped it up and really teed off on the forehand. Again, that ball lands short. Look at how much open court Agassi leaves here. And that's where Henman puts the ball. And again, good preparation. The racket's out in front. The ball and the contact point are out in front. Again, he's saying, don't hit that ball in the middle of the court.
He actually mishit that two-hander lead. You could tell the moment he touched that ball, he wasn't happy with it. 15 all.
Well, I think we all know that feeling. You know, tennis is the kind of game where you can't hit every ball just right. But certainly you've got to practice that shot. And of course, Nick Bollettieri brought Agassi that first Wimbledon title back in '92. What a breakthrough there. Joined together with Brad Gilbert in '94. They've been the team ever since. Of course, Agassi winning a U.S. Open in '94, an Australian Open in '95. So it's been a while since he's been in the Grand Slam winner's circle.
Double fault. Fourth double fault of the day for Henman, and a bad time for it. He has a 30-15 lead, and now things get tight here. Classic serve and volley from Henman. Not a bad return from Agassi, just high enough though. deuce.
Boy, I guess he put so much pressure on you off that second serve return. He hits it with so much angle and pace. I mean, Henman had to move quickly, and he was outside the doubles alley when he tried to play that underspin backhand. Missed it wide.
Ball, that thing was dropping, but he played it extremely well on that forehand volley.
And not many players these days really know how to recognize when to move forward like that, and Henman does that better than anyone, I think. You know, he drives the ball, and he recognizes whether his opponent's on the defensive or whether he's going to cream the ball.
Henman asking on the far side behind Andre. I guess a lot of people moving around back there. Asking him to stand still. Service ace. His 5th of the day. And when we return, Agassi serves for the first set. Can anyone stop Andre Agassi? Biggest game of the match right here. Agassi serves for the first set. Up 5-4. Slides off the line. Gets a break. Big crowd here today. Get the number of attendees, but this place absolutely packed. It holds 6,400, and it's totally filled up today. Backhand slides wide.
Well, these unforced errors are really hurting Tim Henman. Just cannot get deep enough in the point. Certainly Agassi, a reason for it. He's got Henman way out of the court.
Slice goes long again. Agassi in with a big serve. 121.
And again, 3 first serves here to get out to a good lead. That's good pressure tennis.
And 4 quick points as Agassi holds. Listen to this roar. A big hand for Andre Agassi. Look at the current rankings, Leaf.
Well, Sampras, Rios, Korda, Moya, Rafter, Rosetsky, the Englishman, Kafelnikov, Bjorkman, Krajicek and Krejci at 10. Tim Henman at 12. He could move to 11 if he wins here. Agassi certainly looking to move up as well. Neither of them will crack the top 10 here with a win, but you have to look for them by the summer to be in that region, and certainly in a position to be seeded for the U.S. Open, which would be big for both of these guys. Obviously, being seeded would mean that they would avoid playing the best players in the early rounds.
Until the round of 16.
And put them on track to get into the later rounds of the last Grand Slam of the year.
Off to a good start. Big forehand. 15. Called wide by the center service lines.
Maybe it's not wide, but it's long. I'm looking. I'm serious. I'm looking, yeah. Have a good look at it.
Lars in the chair there. Lars Graf from Sweden saying he's looking closely as Henman thought he had the clean ace down the center. No, he pulls it wide. It's kind of the first break in his concentration right there, Leaf.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you're hitting the serve that hard, I mean, it is a real test of these lines, but certainly it looked like it may have creased the tee again. Very close.
Oh, yes. Don't give Agassi any time on that two-hander.
15.
Agassi really froze Henman there. He just ran to that ball and cracked it. Henman really couldn't even go one way or the other.
Really concentration. Agassi would love to break. First game, second set. Not that way. 128 down the center. Ace number 6. look at that return.
Again, watch Agassi's swing here. It's very short. He just stays with the ball and uses the pace of the serve. I mean, he just puts the racket on the ball. See that? Good firm hands, and he just puts the racket face, the strings, right on the ball. And it goes back as quickly as it came to him. I tell you, Henman needed that, and that always reminds me of Boris Becker at Wimbledon. They said, well, how can you serve so well when you're, down break point or you need a point? He goes, well, sometimes you just need to do it, and you do it. I tell you, Henman has got to continue serving this well.
Boris Becker, a winner here in 1994. Henman again mixing it up wide to the forehand. So now Tim Henman with a chance to hold in the first game of the second set. Just wide, and Tim Henman gets out of trouble. He holds. He leads 1-love in the second set. Agassi with the first set, 6-4. Stay with us. We're at the Mercedes-Benz Cup. The young Brit trying to win the second set. Plenty of heat and humidity here on center court today as Andre Agassi leading by a set. And the ATP Tour has chosen Los Angeles to be an experiment with on-court coaching. Here you see Gilbert. This is moments ago at the changeover, talking to Agassi. It will happen at the first break of the second set, and if necessary, the third set. What do you think, Lee? Do you like this idea?
Well, it's definitely controversial, and there are a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some people think there should be more coaching allowed throughout the entire game or none at all. I think it's a nice touch. I think it gives the players a chance to regroup, hopefully make for a better match ultimately. I think the ATP Tour is trying to promote tennis, so if they can make a better game of it, and if coaching can help do it, that's what their directive is.
Well, I think if they're going to have the coaching, they ought to just go right ahead with it and let the coach be out there, just like in Davis Cup, at every changeover. It's long. Agassi might say to me, hey, listen, I don't want Gilbert out there every changeover. That might drive him a little crazy.
Having Brad talking to him in his ear every point. Maybe Brad should go talk to Henman. That's what Agassi would like.
Right up the line, and Agassi holds at love. Let's go to Vince Van Patten, who's got a special guest. Vince.
Hey, Bear, how you doing? Yeah, I'm down here with one of the most beautiful girls in the world, Nicolette Sheridan, who knows absolutely nothing about tennis, but she's here anyhow, looking beautiful. How you doing, Nicolette?
That's horrible. That's not true at all. I love tennis.
I know you do, and you actually have a pretty good game, but you grunt a lot on the court. There's a lot of anger in your game.
I got that from Andre.
That's right. Now, Andre's a good friend of yours, right? He invited you out here today.
We've known each other for a few years. Yeah, he's playing great.
Do you think he's going to beat Tim Henman from England, from where you're from?
I think that Andre can do just about anything. He's the top of his game. I think that he will win this.
Thank you very much, Nicolette. Back to you, Big Bear.
Vince, let's just put her on full time, please. I love that voice.
She's going to take my job, I can tell you that. She's a good analyst.
One game all second set, 15-love. That is a great shot up the line by Henman.
I tell you, that is a sweet stroke, isn't it? He sets this shot up and just nails it. Again, cross-court approach shots are always dangerous. You play into this shot right here.
Oh.
Again, watch the racket, his back, shoulders turn, he stays down on it. Wow, doesn't get any better than that, Bear.
That's a classic backhand. I tell you, if you want to learn how to hit one, just watch everything he does. It's perfect. Agassi does the same. The two-hander up the line. Great control from Agassi. Kept it low.
Again, Henman gets caught. You can see he's behind the baseline. He has to try something he doesn't normally do, which is that top spin flip volley. Certainly Agassi, the main purveyor of that shot. But Henman with the air. Again, a good counter, though, from Agassi. I mean, he got over there made the ball low and down the line.
Flails away at that forehand. Now Agassi stays right with him on this service game. 30-all.
And again, he didn't have to hit that shot quite so big. You know, he wasn't really trying to end the point with it. Again, you just got to make the ball deep. Certainly, Agassi puts that pressure on you, though. You know, you always feel like you have to do a little something special with the ball. Otherwise, Agassi's going to turn it around on you.
Henman now having to work a lot harder on his serve lead than Agassi. Agassi's winning his serve at love. Oh, that ball was well over the service line. Second serve. Too good.
Again, this is a better forehand from the middle of the court. He's got a little more time. You see how he's ready? That's the kind of time when you want to tee off on a shot. The last forehand, he was a little bit hurried. Players have to recognize when the times are right to really go for their shots. Henman knew it there.
Again, Agassi picking up that forehand return off a 128-mile-per-hour serve.
And Henman getting caught in the middle of the court. Good deep return. He has to play a flick shot, which he's not as comfortable with. He's more of a classic stroker of the ball.
Just wide. Hits the forehand, and now Agassi, the third game of the second set, right here, has a chance to break. Barry McKay along with Leif Shiras bringing you final round action, the championship match from the Mercedes-Benz Cup, UCLA Tennis Center. Andre Agassi with the first set, 6-4. 1-all. We are at break point in the third game of the second set. Tim Henman, Great Britain, serving. Forehand, brilliant shot from Henman.
You know, great champions make mistakes just like every other player, but Henman doesn't let the mistakes bother him. He missed his forehand earlier, but this time, no mistake. Again, great preparation. He backed off it beautifully. He was way out in the doubles alley.
That first service. No net court judge. There's the electronic sensor that relays that information up to the umpire. Lars Groff in the chair. Some of the expert lines people who are net court judges not real happy with that instrument. Called wide, a fault. Oh, Henman. Very costly double fault, his fifth of the day, and now Agassi once again with a chance to break early in this second set.
Well, look at that. Agassi really creating some good chances. Henman still trying to find it.
That's good.
Man, did he play a beautiful forehand volley there. I think he's going to change his rackets. He's been working on the strings. Actually, no, he's actually going to put a little plastic insert in between the strings. It's going to reduce the friction on the strings so they don't rub together and hopefully get a little bit longer play.
How long has that process been going on? Maybe 3 or 4 years, Leif?
They've had that a while. I mean, I know that when I was on the tour, they had that. So
Ooh,
it's been around, you know, 8-10 years.
We didn't have those string links when I played. No wonder I broke so many strings.
Well, that's when they had that thick imperial gut, that blue stuff, you know?
Thin. 17 gauge. Yeah, no, it broke in a hurry. especially on those damp afternoons at the Queen's Club. That's just too good. Henman again with that short ball.
And this game really shows you how mentally tough Henman is. I mean, he's really played a sloppy game. But again, this ball in the middle of the court, watch how quickly he moves forward. It finds that opening over in the Agassi's backhand corner.
It's interesting because Henman said when we talked to him, I'm going to have to hit into the corners deep, and that's exactly what he did. That and a fault. The shadows now starting to become a factor out on that center court. Lets it go. Good eye from Henman. 2-1 Henman, second set. All right, Andre. You see, Leaf, even Andre has more than one take every once in a while. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer is Larry Myers. The ATP Mercedes-Benz Cup was produced by Harold Hecht and directed by Bruce Troit. Technical manager is Steve Tagon. Head of field operations, Andrea Jenkins. Agassi has really spent some time with us on Fox Sports Net, starting out there at the Sybase in San Jose. He's won 3 titles, and we have been there all the way. I believe it's been a great year.
That's right. Scottsdale, of course, Washington, D.C.
That's good. No, it's long. Agassi trying to knock off the overhead from the baseline, overhits it.
Again, lots of good defensive lobs. This time it's Tim Henman. Throws the ball up very deep. And this is a great play. It pretty much gets you back into the point. Agassi goes for it and misses it.
30-15 Agassi on serve now in the second set. 1-2. Henman checks that sun and is definitely starting to get low in the sky over there. Suddenly the forehand of Henman letting him down. That's been a big weapon so far today. There's a play that Henman loves to use on the grass courts over Wimbledon, that slice return and in behind it, as does Patrick Rafter. Worked for him that time. Oh, and Agassi gets a break. Ball just stops. 2 games all, second set. So Agassi now 2 games all, second set. He has the first set 6-4. This is best of 3 for the championship. Good thing that was a fault because Agassi drilled the return. And again, speaking of neither of these players winning this title, I'll look back.
You go down the list, Barry, and I'll tell you, there have been some great champions here until, well, geez, you know, back in the day. There you go. There's one. There's a good one right at the bottom.
A telestrator. I knew it'd get me in trouble. Way back in '60. That was at the LA Tennis Club. I played my old friend Butch Buchholz. 7-5 in the 5th. It was best of 5 in those days, but that was a lot of fun. Won a beautiful silver trophy. Meld it down today, it might be worth 15 bucks.
Now they get a trophy here plus a check.
Yeah, those checks weren't around in those days.
I heard that they came under the table, though. It was a funky thing you guys were doing back then.
Expenses.
Expenses, right.
Henman in, knocks off the forehand, 15 all.
You know, one of the great things for Agassi when he was ranked 141 was that he didn't have to fill out designations. You know, he could play pretty much any tournaments he wanted.
Well, on a great story, Leaf, he played back in the early part of the year in Burbank, California, in a challenger event to get going again.
That's right. I mean, oftentimes you'll be designated to Stuttgart on clay, or some events across the ocean that you may not necessarily want to play. So Agassi was able to pick his favorite surface for a number of these events, and all these are hard courts. Washington, Scottsdale, San Jose.
30.
This championship match now 1 hour old on our Ratto courtside clock. 15:30, big points. Agassi with another chance to break. As we mentioned, Henman having a lot more trouble holding serve. Set it up, Leaf. The short two-handed shot from Agassi. Beautiful shot.
It's a nice play from Henman here. This shot right here puts the pressure on Henman. But watch, there's not much open court, but I'll tell you, Andre Agassi can find it. Watch the flick. He just gets under the ball and just rolls it cross court, really snaps it back.
Double break point, second serve. Agassi with 1 out of 6. Henman has yet to have a break point opportunity. And a double fault, a low toss, and Agassi has broken. Agassi 3-2, second set. Center court, UCLA Tennis Center, Mercedes-Benz Cup, and there is Billy Crystal. We had it yesterday on our show with Vince Van Patten. Hurt his calf in an exhibition match out here on Monday, and he was so funny yesterday because he said, well, I guess I won't be able to get back to the U.S. Open and play.
Now, the things that Andre Agassi does are remarkable. You can see Henman is trying to dictate play, but just too many unforced errors. And he just has not served as well on his first serve as he'd like to.
Ooh, just catches the tape. Agassi tries that rolled forehand. That is a weapon.
You know, and Henman is betting that Agassi cannot keep hitting these shots. And that one paid off. But also that approach shot was very tough. You know, when a guy's serving such a high first serve percentage like Agassi, it's really tough to break him. And you can see Henman has not yet had a break point on the Agassi serve.
Agassi dumps a double fault. His second. Bad timing for that. There was something in his, looks like his left eye. He backs off again. And with that, Henman has backed off from the other side. It's kind of like a pitcher getting ready and the guy steps out of the box. No, it's wide, and a great play from Henman. Got the second serve, and now Agassi in trouble. Down break point. Listen to this crowd for Henman. We want to see more, Leaf. I think they would love to see a three-setter out here today. First break point for Tim Henman right here. He's in, and there it is. Henman has broken back in the 6th game of the second set. We are dead even at 3 games all.
3 games all. Ball change, please.
Wow, and what a great turnaround for Henman. Agassi with a chance here on the pass, but this is just a knife. Look at how low that ball stays. There was some room down the line, but it just had too much underspin. Watch how he just hits it with pace, leans on it. The weight transfer is what gives that ball weight.
It's a nice looking approach shot, isn't it, Leaf? He really comes under that ball, but hits through it as well. Reminiscent of another champion here, Ken Rosewall. Rosewall, who won this championship back in 1953, and then teamed with his buddy Lou Hode to win the doubles. No. A sitter backhand volley, and Henman pushes it long. Championship on the line, and some awfully big names on that cup. Fred Perry, Don Budge, Jack Kramer, Pancho Gonzalez. Rosewall, who never won at Wimbledon, won this championship. Jack Kramer, if he's watching, his birthday yesterday, and if he's watching today, we wish him well. That's why Kramer, who had so much to do with the success of this event for many, many years. Bob Kramer, his son now, the tournament director. We should also give a hello to our old friend Rod Laver, recovering from a stroke he suffered last Monday. All the best, Rocket, if you're watching. Love 30 now, 7th game. Keeping that ball so deep.
Well, these are just big points now for both guys. Agassi has just had his service broken. Henman trying to consolidate the break, but again, the unforced error is getting to him, but that certainly was a nice forehand drive he hit. Each point seemingly getting bigger and bigger.
Talk about improvising shots. He lunges on the return and then gets caught and somehow gets that ball up in the air again.
Well, Henman missed an overhead earlier in the match. He just doesn't do enough with this ball. And look at Agassi improvise. He should make this one.
From another angle here, Leaf. Watch this shot coming up.
Really gets handcuffed. It's a good lesson, though. Get that ball back at any cost.
It's an amazing shot. A lot of people on Sunday morning hit that kind of shot at about 10 o'clock in the morning. And Henman double faults again on game point. Agassi breaks. Stay with us with their Mercedes-Benz Cup. Agassi 4-3, second set. Still cameras, a media entourage down here at center court. Never seen so many cameras. Agassi now with the break, Leaf. What's he going to do in this game coming up right here?
Oh, I think he's going to get a lot of first serves in. He's had good success when he does that. The last game, he got into trouble when he double faulted. So if he keeps that high first serve percentage, he can keep Henman back.
Henman on the full run again. That deep forehand.
You know, Henman, I think, hits his forehand better when he's in trouble. Look at this shot.
Yeah, it's kind of like Stefan Edberg on the run. He always hit the forehand better on the full run. Nice backhand approach just over the baseline. Agassi to 30-15. goes long, and so Agassi holds 5-3. Agassi, second set. Well, each year the ATP Tour Charities creates Sportsman of the Week on the tour, and this week the Sportsman of the Week is 31-year-old Patrick Galbraith, one of the best doubles players on the tour. Went out and visited one of the high schools and hit some balls with a disadvantaged 17-year-old. And so the ATP Tour will donate $5,000 in Galbraith's name to the National Junior Tennis League, an inner-city kids program that was started way back with Arthur Ashe. Congratulations to Patrick Galbraith, the ATP Tour Charities Sportsman of the Week.
Well, needless to say, Henman has got to hold his serve here. Agassi's going to put the pressure on him. That was a good return down at Henman's toes.
Agassi's sensing a championship here. 3 points away, 3-5, love 15. Miss hit on the second serve. A good jumping serve from Henman. High bouncing twist serve, 15-all.
You know, oftentimes the last game of a match can be the toughest to win. You can see Agassi really pumping himself up there. Sometimes you need that little extra to push it over the edge to finish someone off. He knows that Henman is going to raise his level of play right now.
Big serve down the center, 134 miles per hour.
13.
Ties the record for speed this week. Henman has been the big server all week long. Great controlled shot off that two-hander. He makes that shot look easily.
Yeah, this is one of his staple shots, the backhand down the line. He gets to it early. You can see he prepares. He sees the opening. Boy, and just lines it up. Plays it so close to the line.
30-all.
Great serve and volley. You look that up in a video dictionary, they'll just play that. That's what serve and volley tennis is all about. It's a lot easier, though, when you get the high return and you can play the volley down. Certainly Agassi doesn't give you a lot of those.
Nets versus
the tape. And so 5-4 now Agassi. When we return, Andre Agassi serves for the championship. A big hand for both players as they changed over, and now Andre Agassi steps up to serve for this championship. This would be his fourth title since Wimbledon. He has, I should say, his third, because he won that first event way out in February. 15-love now. Agassi 3 points away. No, a missed volley. Andre just moments away from perhaps picking up that winner's check for $45,000. Not a bad prize to the runner-up. 30-love. Led second serve. Agassi holds the two-hander, waits waits for the last minute and then just drills the two-hander cross court. Henman slice. He'll come in. Watch Agassi wait. Pulls it cross court. Could have gone either way, and now triple championship point for Andre Agassi. Agassi drills the two-hander up the line. A fitting way to finish a straight set win. This crowd on its feet. Agassi again does not lose a set. Takes the bows. 11 straight matches for Agassi since that loss at Wimbledon, and a disappointed young British player, but we'll hear more from him. Tim Henman showed what he's all about today, and a big hand for Agassi. Is he happy? I would say so. The Mercedes-Benz Cup from Los Angeles. Agassi, a straight set winner, 6-4 and 6-4. Stay with us. We're on Fox Sports Net, and we'll be back and chat with Agassi. Straight sets, Agassi the champion. Straight set win for Andre Agassi, 6-4 and 6-4. He is courtside now with our Leif Shiras. Leif.
All right, Andre Agassi. It's been 10 years since you were in the finals here, and a big breakthrough. Did you ever think it would take 10 years to get your first title in LA?
Oh boy, has it been that long? You know, it's such a great place to play. The enthusiasm is phenomenal, and support. The sport I think the support that not only I've had, but many of the players out here this week, it just goes to show that with that kind of enthusiasm, you can see some great tennis. And this week has been that. I feel like I've been playing so well, and it's nice to be standing here, you know, last one.
Well, you needed to play well today. Henman put some good pressure on you, and it looked like you were having to come up with some great stuff to hold him off.
Yeah, not only is Tim a great guy, he's a great player, man. The guy does everything well out here, and he can hurt you from a bunch of different parts of the court, and you gotta be on your game against him, certainly.
Well, you're at the top of your game. It's been a road back since the end of '97, and how are you going to keep it together now as you look down the road at the U.S. Open?
Well, there's you know, I have 3 more tournaments still. You know, the Canadian Open, Cincinnati, Indianapolis. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's 3 more opportunities to get a victory, and I hope that going to the U.S. Open feeling as good as I'm feeling right now, I don't see why I couldn't even feel maybe even a little better.
Well, I speak for everyone in L.A. and certainly around the world. Great to have you back.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
A very happy Andre Agassi gets a huge hand from this packed house here at the Los Angeles Tennis Center on the campus at UCLA. A standing ovation for Agassi. They love him here, and I'll tell you, he seems to like Los Angeles as well. And this guy has put on quite a show when you think about it all summer long. He loses over there at Wimbledon to Tommy Haas, and since that match, he has yet to lose. He has been phenomenal. And now a very classy runner-up, Tim Henman, with Leif Shiras. Leif.
Thank you, Barry. Tim Henman, a great final. You finished second today. What was the difference, you think?
You know, I think I wasn't quite able to make things happen against Andre. You know, if you're playing good tennis, you still got a good chance of coming second. And today I played pretty well, but I wasn't able to come up with the goods to take him out. But you know, I think he's a very worthy champion.
This is your first tournament since semifinals at Wimbledon, and you played confidently. You look like you're coming together. What's down the road for you? How are you feeling about your game?
I feel very happy. Obviously, you know, coming into this week, it was my first tournament on the hard after playing on grass for quite some time. So, you know, to make the final, I think it's a good confidence booster. And as Andre says, you know, we're preparing well for the US Open, Australian Open.
Well, living as you do in England, you live under a real microscope there, and coming to LA, it must be nice to have a breath of fresh air. Do you still get the adulation on the street here?
There's not so many tabloid newspapers over here, so I'm a little bit safer. So no, it's nice to be able to get on with you know, my practice and play my matches, and I've had great support all this week, and I look forward to coming back next year.
Tim Henman, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Tim Henman, a very popular player as well here. He gets a huge hand from this crowd. He'll be back. We'll see more of Tim Henman. But here is Agassi rolling that backhand up the line. He wins it in straight sets, 6-4 and 6-4. Agassi, the champion here at the Mercedes-Benz Cup in L.A. Stay with us. All right, let's head down now to Andre Agassi, who is courtside.
Well, I guess I should first start by saying I'm glad I won today. Now I could help pay for some of the tickets for all my friends. Maybe next year I could get a few extra comps, Bob, you know? I guess mostly I'd just like to thank my support team who's been with me through, needless to say, through thick or thin. It's been a very up and down, not just a year, but career. And when I look to my side, I still see, when all the smoke clears, the same group of guys that support me. And that's my trainer and great friend, Gil Reyes. And my coach now going on maybe close to 5 years, Brad Gilbert. My best friend who's back home, Perry Rogers, who's just supported me and helped me to help myself believe that I can actually do this. It's been a long road, and I've climbed 130 spots this year and 11 more to go, or 10 more, I guess. So. And just a special thanks to the Ball kids for hustling my towel over and, you know, putting up with me for the week. And do I get that? Do I get that champagne? I do? Good. Because that's worth about more than the check is.
Andre, here's a Jeroboam of Louis Roederer champagne Cristal to help wash down a box of balance bars tonight.
Now I think it'd all be capped off if I could get me one of those jackets right there you're wearing. No. Just a big thank you to all you tennis fans who come out here and deal with the heat, deal with the situation, and stay focused and intense and keep the level of play up. I love playing here, and I can't wait to come back. Thank you.
And so Andre Agassi gets another standing ovation, a check for $45,000 and some champagne. We'll be back and have a closer look at Agassi when we return.